All right. 3 things I wish someone had told me. Ost from Homesteading. Let's try this. It's not going to be as easy as I was hoping. Just going to hold it. Ost from Homesteading said to make a video about 3 hard truths that I wish we had known before we started homesteading. The first one was an unfortunate and very expensive lesson. I'll show you what it is. Hang on. Can you guess what it is? It's outbuildings. Yes. Oh my gosh. Okay, so our first homestead, we had 5 outbuildings, more than we knew what to do with. We could not even use all the space. It was amazing. We loved it. And it felt like too much, you know? Kind of took it for granted, to be honest. Now we moved here. This property had 0. We definitely just said what any naive person would say. We were just like, oh, it'll be fine. We'll just build something and make something. It'll be fine. Oh my gosh. They are so expensive and so extremely important for homesteading, because if you even just have like on our last homestead, we had like a middle-sized shed. We ended up using that shed as a chicken coop at first, a really large chicken coop. Then we ended up turning it into the milking parlor for the cow. And we used it anytime a calf was born, we used that as like the stall to keep the cow in. We used it to separate the calf whenever we were trying to, oh my gosh. We had no idea how much we were even using that thing. And then I don't know what we were thinking coming to this property and being like, oh, it doesn't have any barns. Yeah, we'll just figure it out. Oh my gosh. So then we ended up having to build our own, big shop kind of thing here, because we needed like a woodworking shop and somewhere to store things and somewhere to put animals, because we already had some cows. And yeah, it was extremely expensive. Just the cement that goes on the floor is so expensive. So truth number 1, outbuildings are extremely undervalued when you're on the market for a homestead. You really want to see if you can find somewhere with some outbuildings, even if they're sort of dilapidated and old and creepy looking. It doesn't matter. As long as they're standing, you can fortify it. You can add metal onto the outside. Oh, they're so nice. Let's talk about lesson number 2. All right. Thought I'd bring you in here for item number 2 so that you could see. Here it is right here. You see this? Truth number 2. Poop. Poop is the truth. Every single one of these sweet little creatures has something in common. They all create so much poop. I know it seems vulgar to talk about it, but that's the thing. If you've been watching a lot of homestead content, you may be seeing some very aesthetically pleasing shots of people petting baby goats or making butter from their milk, from their own dairy cow, or collecting eggs from their hens. But what you don't see quite as much of, or rather, you don't smell, is the pervasive odor of poop. Forever. The smell during certain seasons, especially more sultry times of the year, can become like a huge cloud around your property, and it gets on everything. When I'm milking, I mentioned this in one of my videos recently, the poop water runs down my arm while I'm washing the cow. Anytime now that Nathan mentions he wants to get another animal, that's the first thing that comes to my head now is the poop. And then you have to come up with systems to deal with it and keep things clean, because the more your animals are in the area with their own poop, they get sick, and it's just a lot of handling poop that I didn't realize was going to be part of my life. I just had these beautiful visions of petting a cow, and the people that lay down with their cows and stuff. It's I love them at everything, but they're covered in poop. Hi, buddy. Want to come stand with me? Okay, so the third and final truth that I wish somebody had kind of warned me about, I guess, is the effect that having a homestead can have on your family. I suppose it's different for everybody, but okay, you gotta go. All right, so I think it's different probably for everybody depending on your situation. Nathan and I have 3 very young children ranging from 11 months to 5 years old. And if you want to actually work towards self-sufficiency, you're going to have to be putting in a lot of work. And if you've got like a 9 to 5 or, like me, I'm a stay-at-home mom, with young kids, whatever it is, yes, you can involve them a little bit. And yes, it's an amazing life for them, but it's like having a whole nother kid, especially whenever you first get them. Setting up all the infrastructure, it just is such a huge amount of time and effort. And for us, like when we first got our cows and every time they've had a baby, anytime like anything like that, it can just add a ton of stress into our lives. And then, we're trying to have a marriage just like anybody else, and when you're spending so much time working, whether it's on a homestead or any other job, when you're spending so much time away from your spouse, away from your family, that can put a lot of strain on your relationship. So what I wish somebody had told me was that we really need to prioritize time together and actually have like a planned time that we spend together, my husband and I, and then also times we spend together with the kids. It's so easy to just have one of us spending time with the kids and one of us going off and doing some kind of job, fixing something, updating something, purchasing, just doing regular chores even. It just all takes so much time. It can get very stressful. So that's something I wish somebody would have warned me about. You want to have a pretty strong relationship going into it and have, family systems set up that you don't allow anything to come into that time, even your homestead. It's self-sufficiency is great and everything, but what's it all for? It's about them. It's about having special moments with them. It's about teaching them about where their food comes from, their hearts and their relationships with us as their parents, and our relationship as spouses is so much more important than getting the perfectly organic food from your own land. So I guess that wraps it up for me. The sun is going down, as you can see, but that is definitely something that we've had growing and we're still growing in, is putting our family first, even above your homestead. All right, you guys have a great day. Also, I just want to say thank you, Homesteading, for letting us do a collaboration. And if any of you are watching this that are legit homesteader farmers and you have any advice for us, please God, leave it in the comments. All right, thanks.